It's like 95% of his value is in his glove. Even Zips, the early projections that Zips have on Fangraphs for him next year, he's projected to have a 2.2 WAR. I mean, that's a pretty solid season. You're not going to go crazy over it, but that's a pretty solid season, and most of that comes from what he can do defensively. The biggest question is his bat. And while the question isn't like, should he be a major league player in a lineup, the question is fit on the Reds roster. The Reds have a lot of guys that are singles, on base. They got pretty decent glove, but we're wondering about the power. And Ke'Bryan Hayes is squarely in the middle of that conversation because the Reds have a guy in Spencer Steer that was a finalist for a Gold Glove at first base. He ideally is more of a super utility guy with his bat. Matt McLain had a bit of a down year. Who is he moving forward? Projection systems like him to bounce back, but what does that necessarily mean for his power? The biggest power threats that they have in the lineup right now are Ellie De La Cruz and the kid Sal Stewart that you just brought up.
Look at where he started the year and where he ended the year, because he started. I mean, you look at that 4.83 ERA. It was a lot worse than that because his last couple months were, they were peak Zac Gallen performance. And so what that really does is that opens up a lot of questions into, well, they had a new pitching staff. They had a new pitching coach this year. They're not going to say that was a reason why pitching for the Diamondbacks, who had one of the worst pitching stats of all MLB this year. They're not going to say that's why, but you did see as the season went on, the pitching got progressively better and better and better. And that, I think, very well put with Zac Gallen, and you can see him. He's a very good example of that. And so I think that whoever gets him is going to be getting somebody who looks a lot more like the second half of the 2025 season, not so much the first half. Maybe if it really was like an issue with the pitching staff and getting kind of just back into the swing of things, you might see Gallen struggle initially. But if you sign, I imagine he's going to want to sign a big, long-year deal. I imagine you'll have a little bit of adjusting in the beginning, and then he'll settle in, and he'll be amazing for whoever he ends up on.